All right, let me ask you something. Ladies, put your hand up if you have ever been told it is too dangerous to hike alone, that you shouldn't go on a trail by yourself, that you're much safer in a group, that being alone in the wilderness is far too risky, and you better just stay home. I know I have. And what if I told you a lot about what we've been taught about women hiking alone is actually wrong? And not just wrong, I'm talking straight up scientifically inaccurate. Because when you actually take a moment and look at the research, the data, and the psychology of hiking alone, you might be surprised at what you find. Solo hiking may actually be one of the most empowering and mentally restorative things a woman can do for herself. So today, I want to break down what people get wrong about women hiking alone and what the science actually says. From a very young age, women are taught the same message. We're told, don't go places alone, stay in groups, avoid being by yourself outdoors. And over time, this creates something researchers call the fear-gender paradox. In general, women consistently report higher fear of crime, the feeling like something bad could happen to them, even though the data often shows it's actually men who experience higher rates of many violent crimes overall. And it's that same fear that naturally tends to carry over into outdoor spaces. But when we actually look at the data from public lands and national parks, the reality is very different. Violent crime in U.S. national parks occurs at a rate roughly 1,000 times lower than the average rate experienced by the general public in everyday environments. Think of that number, 1,000 times lower than doing regular things in life. In other words, the wilderness is actually one of the safest environments a woman could spend time in. If we take a look at the data from search and rescue, this shows that 80% of search and rescue incidents involved men. Men who require rescue are also more likely to die during those incidents. Now, if you think about it, women are highly, highly intuitive. We have gut feelings. We tend to follow those gut feelings. We have feelings of hesitation, maybe a little bit of paranoia, plus that natural built-in fear that bad things will likely happen to us, which actually prevents us from taking risks outdoors. Women, for example, are more likely to turn around when conditions worsen, stay on marked trails, check weather conditions, plan routes carefully, and I'll tell you, over-preparing is never a bad thing. The assumption that women are more likely to get in trouble on trails simply isn't supported by the data. Let's get into a little bit of what happens to your brain on nature. I'm saying this from science, but I'm also saying this from personal experience. Most of our daily lives keep our brains in a constant state of stimulation. Emails, notifications, traffic, conversations, decisions, up the hoo-ha. Your brain is always working to filter information and stay focused. But when you step on a trail, something changes, and I think there might be a little bit of magic involved. Researchers at Stanford University studied what happens when people walk in nature for about 90 minutes. They found that activity actually decreased in a part of the brain linked to rumination. In other words, nature literally quiets the part of the brain that tends to spiral. And if you've ever been on a hike, you've probably felt this happen without even realizing it. At first, yeah, your mind still might be a little busy, but be patient, give it a second because something is about to shift. You will begin noticing things that you never thought would have been interesting to you. Why? Because these are things that are not interesting to you in regular life. You'll start saying things like, "What? That is the prettiest bird I have ever seen." Or, "Wait, do you hear that? That water running sounds so beautiful." Or, "That is the biggest tree I have ever seen in my entire life. Wow, the quiet, the air, the cool," and on and on and on. Natural environments gently capture your attention without overwhelming it. Your brain can relax, but it's still engaged. This part in particular is why I think the benefits of solo hiking are greater than hiking with someone else. There's no conversation to maintain, no social energy being spent. No distractions pulling your attention away. Your mind is pulling you to what your mind and only your mind wants. And that's why so many people say they get their best thinking done on the trail. I've heard it a million times. Problems feel clearer, decisions feel easier, stress, poof, gone. I want to tell you that once you feel that relaxation in your mind, you realize that level of mental clarity is very hard to achieve in everyday life. I can't think of anything else that clears my mind the way that nature does. No gym session, no therapy session, no inspirational book, no binging out on Netflix, no massage, no sauna, none of it. It does not compare. I don't want to say that hiking in groups has no benefits. That's not what I'm trying to say here at all. But I am trying to focus more on the solo aspect of hiking because I do believe the benefits are just so much greater. You set the pace, you choose when to stop, you choose where to go. You can sit with a view for 30 minutes, you can keep on walking, you can cry if you need to, talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. You can celebrate, do a little dance when you reach the summit. There's no negotiating plans or matching someone else's pace. And honestly, we spend so much of our lives accommodating others, family, work, social expectations, that freedom can feel incredibly rewarding. When you hike on the trail by yourself, every decision belongs to you and you only. Route choices, weather judgment, pacing, navigation, every success belongs to you too. If you reach the summit, you did that. When you push through a steep climb, you did that. That builds your belief in your ability to handle challenges and solve problems. It helps build long-term confidence, and honestly, who doesn't want more of that? Keep in mind, the biggest barrier to women hiking alone is not their ability. It's not the data, because that obviously doesn't support it. It's the fear that we've been taught. But the trail doesn't care about those beliefs. It doesn't care about expectations or stereotypes. It simply rewards preparation, patience, and persistence. And when a woman hikes alone for the first time, she realizes she can rely on herself. She trusts her instincts. She becomes stronger. She discovered a tool that is available to be used anytime her heart desires, because nature is free. It's all around us. There's plenty for everyone. There will always be a place waiting you have never explored, and this will likely be just the beginning of your future life of adventure. So go, go try it. Take my advice, learn for yourself. I promise you won't be disappointed.